My name is Eli and I'm going to be your guide for today. This is Scratch. It is the online programming language used by millions, and I think millions, it may even be billions, I'm not even sure. But it is a really good programming language if you want to start into making games, and today I'm going to show you the basics. So this is your cat sprite. This is the stage that it's on, and it shows the sprites right here, and this is the sprite statistics. So you can name your sprite. I'm gonna name it cat. And now it shows up that it's cat. There's the X and Y. So right now it's at X3, Y -15. So you can set it to like the middle, which is 0, 0 from here, and then whenever you press enter, bam, direction, you can kind of change the direction right here, and that actually works really well if you want to test directions and everything. So, and you can also type in the direction you want. So there's the size. You can give it a big size right here, like give it 200, or you can give it a really tiny size, like at 10. And look how small that is on a full screen to show you how tiny that is. So I'm going to set back to 100 real quick for the demonstration. This is where the scripts are put. These are the blocks that you're going to use to program. There are different things. There's like motion. There's like a move to instead, so you can make your sprite turn. There's a go-to position. There's different. You can go to mouse pointer, random position, and as you add sprites, you'll be able to go to sprites. So let's say I add a new sprite. So I'll show you how to do that. There's upload sprite from the computer. Surprise, which gives you a random one. Paint, which lets you paint one, which we'll go over in just a second. And choose a sprite, which lets you choose your sprite. And this also is choose a sprite right here. As you click them, it'll let you show what it is. So here's Andy, here's Abby, and it shows you all there. There's Anina, I don't even know who that is. Apple, Arrow, Avery, basketball, baseball, bananas, balloons, so you can get animals. And there's a bear, there's walking stripe, so walking animation for the bear, and here's another thing for the bear. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I don't really know what to choose, so I'm surprised. And it gives me sunglasses. That is actually kind of cool. We can put the sunglasses on the cat real quick. Okay, what we have here is, now that we have sunglasses, we're inside the sunglasses, so you can put cat, so you can go to cat. So whenever it does that, so let's just put this here, and it'll go to the cat. And yeah, let's go back to the cat, and let's just kind of put this over here at the side for now. So there's a lot of things. There's point and direction. You can set the direction with this, and that's good for if you want to go into the game and click when that button's clicked, point in that direction. So let's see here. There's different directions, so we'll make it to where it can point in that direction. Yeah, it chooses that direction. And if you don't want it to look like that, you can actually make it to where there's it's set rotation style. You can set it to left or right. So you used to be able to do this in here, and that's how everybody did it, but now you can't. So you have to put in the block. So you can choose left or right, it don't rotate, and all around. And usually people will pick left or right, but there are ways that you can do all around. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this up. And there's X position, Y position, direction. These are called variables. Now variables, they are things in your project that can change, and they each hold numbers. So here looks, in looks, there are ways that you can like change the look of your character. There's say hello. You can say hello for a couple seconds, and you can change that, and you can say meow right there. So once you do that, it'll say meow for 2 seconds, and whenever you put the green flag, then whenever you press the green flag, it'll say meow for a couple of seconds. That is very cool. There's also one where it can say hello just like for the entire time until it's chosen to say nothing. There's think, which is a different texture than say. So look, if you click it, and then it'll change the texture. It'll turn it into like a cloud. So here are there is switch costumes. So let's say 2 costumes in the Scratch right now, in the Scratch cat. And there's a sound. Yep, there's a sound. All right, just making sure. So there are 2 costumes. There's like a running costume and a standing costume, and together these can make a animation. So I'm gonna make when that thing clicked. I'm actually going to take its direction back to 90. There we go. So when that clicked, you can make a forever loop. I guess I'll do for now, and I'll go back into this later. You can switch. You can do next costume, and that, or you can do switch to whatever costume. Whenever you do it, it'll look like it's running and saying meow, and then going So yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And if you want to change it's really fast. So if you want to, you can set it. You can wait 1 second each time. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or you can actually set it to like 0.1. That's pretty good, and it runs at like a little bit of frames per second, and that looks pretty good there. So there's this little running script. Yeah, that's what it is. So here, let me go into. I think looks we pretty much got. Oh yeah, there's change. You can change color effect. There's color effect, fisheye, whirl, pixelate, mosaic, brightness, and ghost. And here we go, real quick. I'm going to go ahead and show you what these do. So I'm gonna make a forever loop right here, a quick forever loop, and I'm going to change each one by 1. So you can actually right click on this and duplicate it. Oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. Opportunity to teach you something, because this is a note. If you right click on it and click the note comment, then you can type down a comment. So let's say people want to remix your project. You could say this changes, and sorry, I'm having to type with one hand because my mic is in the way. This changes the color of the cat. So that does change the color of the cat. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and I'm going to take out this because that would be annoying. I'm going to change. So there we go. You see, it changes its color effect and now I'm going to add fisheye effect. So change fisheye effect. There's roll effect. There's pixelate effect. There is mosaic effect. Oh crap, look what's going on. What the mosaic effect, and there's even brightness effect and ghost effect. So now if we were to do this, so let's try it. That is so weird. Alright, so first we'll look at the color effect. Color effect changes the way its color is. And so now it's going from pink to red to orange to yellow to green. If you were to check that out and add fisheye, then fisheye is going to change. It's going to make it look like a big eye in the middle. If you add a whirl effect, it's going to make it whirled and just whirl, and it looks really cool. If you are to do pixelate effect, it would change pixels and make it look a little more pixelated, and that's good if you want to. So see, it changes the pixels to where there's like 1 pixel. So that's good if you want to make a game a little bit have more pixel graphics, but you're not very good with pixel, so you can just do that. So let me actually take this out and put it in there. Mosaic changes the number of cats in the thing. Brightness changes obviously the brightness of the cat until he eventually fades away. And then ghost effect makes the cat fade, so he literally does fade, which is pretty cool. Okay, now that we have that, we can actually I'm not gonna put any. I'm gonna put color in there because these all like make it look weird and can make it lag, which is why you don't want to use this too much. And if you do use it, probably ghost effect and color effect is probably the only ones that you're gonna want to use if you want to make a game look more cool. So yeah, here we go. Change the color. So what's next? There is obviously size. You can change size by a certain amount. So if we do this, it'll change the size by 5 every frame. So it'll get bigger. And I'm going to set size to 100%. So that whenever it goes back, it'll go back into the game like 100%. I'll actually set it to 10% so that it seems like it's getting big pretty fast. So now what there is the clear graphic effects, and obviously there's show and hide, and so basically show, the cat will do everything but it's shown, and if it's hidden, the cat will do everything, but it can't if something collides with it. Like sensing blocks right here will not work if it's hidden, or any other blocks like that when it interacts with other things. There's layers, where there's go to front layer and go to back layer, which means that let's say the sunglasses is on right here, and what the heck, if you want it to go to front layer, the cat will go in front of it. If you want it to go to back layer, the cat will go behind it, and then go forward and backward. There's costume. This is variables right here, so this will tell you the costume number, costume name. So it doesn't really change that. So backdrop number, and backdrop name, and then there's size. So yeah, then there's sound. So so I guess what you do is you can start sound meow whenever it goes meow. So it's say meow and do meow. Sorry, that was really loud. Start sound meow. The difference between start sound and play sound is that start sound will cause it to meow, but start sound meow, it doesn't have to finish the sound. See, look, if you do play sound meow, let's go ahead and switch this out real quick. So whenever you do play sound until done, it goes meow, and then it does it. So we want it to start sound meow, because that just sounds good. Stop all sounds, you know what that does. Change pitch effect by 10. So the pitch effect changes the pitch. So let's say we were to go like this. And then if we were to do minus 10, so if you put a minus in front of it, that basically makes it go down. So that has a cool little meow. I think that's how they made sounds in the old 80s games, like Galaga. That sounds a lot like the sounds from Galaga. So I think that's how they made it, because this is really similar to ones and zeros, except it's just turned into blocks. Pitch effect just sets what pitch, and clear sound effects is basically the same thing. Volume is the volume, volume's everything, that actually can be good for like a volume thing, like if you want to change the volume. Now here's the events. Events, like when that is clicked, it goes like that. There's when space is pressed. So let's say we wanted it to start like there instead of doing that. So then it would start doing that, and actually we'd probably want to set size to 10% right here whenever the green flag is started, so it looks kind of cool. And then whenever we press space, it'll go big. When the sprite is clicked, we could change this right here, turn into when the sprite is clicked. Click. So if we were to click it, it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. When the backdrop switches, that means that whenever the backdrop, which is right here, switches, it'll do it. When loudness or any of these is greater than whatever. Now here's broadcasting. Broadcasting is probably one of the most useful things that you will see in this entire programming language. Broadcasting lets you broadcast a message. So let's make a message. My bad. Let's make a message and we'll just call it message. So whenever it's clicked, it'll broadcast a message, and then whenever I receive the message, then you can click whatever you want. You can make it ask, what's your name? And so whenever the sprite is clicked, it'll ask what's your name while it's growing, and I can say Eli. It's my name. That's actually my name in real life, and actually this is annoying me right here, so I'm going to go and turn it off. Shit. Costume number. What is this right here? Where does that come from? So now that we have that learnt, we have all that, and then if you broadcast and wait, that just makes it go by quicker. Here's control, so just like wait 1 second, so like wait 1 second between it. Repeat a certain amount of times makes it repeat that each frame, or how much you wait with the wait block in it. Forever makes it go on every single frame. Then there's if, and if is actually really, really helpful, this, whenever you see one of these not octagonal, like diamond kind of shaped things, then you can put things in it. So you can put some of this, you put most of this thing in it. So you can put like if key space pressed, if touching mouse pointer, if touching color navy, if that equals that, if that's greater than that, less than that, if that and, if that or, and not that. So yeah. Then there's clones. Now clones are also really helpful if you are making like, let's say, a horde of zombies, making a character shoot out of like a gun or something. If you were to make a bunch of different like people like in a city, that would be what you want. So let's make it to where it creates a clone of itself. After it goes it'll create a clone of itself. And when I start as a clone, then you can program that. You can either make it the same thing. If you just leave it there, it'll just create a clone of itself, and the clone will do everything. Or you can make it so when I start as clone, and you can start programming the clone itself. So you can like set the clone to like 0, 20 or so, and it'll create a clone. And you also, so yeah, meow. So it's gonna go meow, and it's gonna go It's gonna create another clone. The clone doesn't do anything because we haven't put it in anywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much what a clone does. So I've showed you all of control now, and it could delete this clone. Just deletes the clone. If you put it in like here, broadcast, only if I'm pretty sure only in a broadcast, then it'll delete all clones. But I'm not sure about that one. So touching mouse pointer, you know that touching. If touching sunglasses or edge, if touching color, if color that is touching color that. Distance to mouse pointer, this can go in one of these circle spaces. Answer, that is the answer to what's your name and wait. So you can make your character ask what's your name, and you can type it in, and then you can put the answer on the board. Or you can set, or if answer equals whatever. There's key space or any key over here except for enter, shift, backspace, caps, tab. So it's any of these keyboard, any space, and any of the numbers. So there is also a mouse down, which means that whenever the mouse is down, does this. Mouse X, mouse Y, which are also variables. Loudness is a variable. There's a timer. So timer starts whenever the game starts. Whenever your project starts. So if you were to press reset timer at any point in the game, it would reset the timer. But the cool thing about the timer is it will continue to go after the game is stopped. So let's say we were to stop it, bam. So if backtrack number of state, this is actually really helpful. So you can set. So if you change it to like one of these, you can pick the X position, and it's a variable. This is actually really cool. Current year. This is like current year, month, date, day, week, hour, minute, second, which is a day since 2000. There's been 7,175 days since 2000. And if you were to click this at other times, it would change the number. And then username. My username is Wicked Games dash, and that's a variable, so you can make it to where it can detect your username, and you can have a name in the game without even having to choose one. And then there are ways that you can make it to where if it's not signed in, then it'll give them random name. So here's operators. It's basically, so in JavaScript, which is another programming language, the main things that you learn it's basically a glorified calculator, but it's more than that. But you can do math with the operators, so there's plus, minus, times, and divided by. Pick random 1 to 10. You can put any of them in there. If you add decimals, it'll set the decimals. So it'll pick a random each time, and that's good for things. There's, greater than, less than, equal to, and, or not. I've already showed you those. Join apple and banana. That's pretty good if you want to make it join apple, and then you can set username, whatever that crap is, username. So then it'll say apple-wickedgames-banana, which is weird. If apple contains a, if length of apple, letter 1 of apple, that's all. I'm actually not sure about this. It's mode, so I guess we were put 70 and 10 in here. I actually don't know anything. I've never used this in my life. I actually don't know about this. So this would round this would, like, let's say if it was 7.5, that would round it up to 8. Here's absolute value, which is pretty much, these are math terms. So absolute value means if it's negative or positive, that's the absolute value. The floor, I'm not sure about that one. Ceiling, I'm not sure about that one. Square root is if you were to make something go 5 times, let's say 5 times 2 is 25, the square root of 25 is 5. Sine and cosine, I'm going to be learning about this year in Math 2. I am not actually, I'm in 8th grade, but I'm taking an advanced math course. So I'm learning about the sine and cosine, tan, a sine, a cos, a tan, n, log, that, and that. I'm not actually too sure about all those, but I will, once I figure those out, I will make in-depth tutorials on those. Make a variable. You can make a variable. So you know how these little circle things are variables? You can actually make a variable, so we can make a variable called cat position, and for all for this. So did it not make one? Position. So I'm going to go ahead and make it. That's weird. Why is it not showing up? Go away. This pop-up is really annoying me. I don't know why it's like a McAfee protection thing. Why is it not showing up? There we go. Now it showed up. Sorry, I was lagging a little bit. So here's the cat position right here, and the cat position will allow you to. Oh man, I'm tired. So variables. You can set the variable. You can change the variable. Show variable, hide variable. So let's say whenever I start as a clone, we can set cat position to, and we can set it to X position. So this is just an example. You can actually do a whole one. I'm actually planning on making a lot of really in-depth tutorials on this channel about making different games, and I'm actually going to start with making a FNAF series. So I'm just going to start with the basics for now, because I need to do some more planning. So yeah, so set cat position to that. And you can also change it by a certain amount. So yeah, so let's go ahead and and then change cat position by 1, and it will. So whenever I click on him, it'll create the clone, and it changes it. And then after variables, there's make a list. So we can set it number of times clicked for all sprites and for the sprite only. So number of times clicks, it adds a whole new thing on here. So number of times clicks, that's a list. So you can make it to where it'll add to here. So where does it create clone of myself? So we can actually, I'm gonna make it to where whenever you click it, it creates the clone of itself. So there we go. So now I'm going to click it a whole bunch of times, and it'll add thing to the list, and that's actually really helpful for a lot of things. It's going to lag now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because of all the things. So there's add thing, there's delete one, there's delete all, insert thing at any time, replace item 1. So this would be really good for making an inventory system. Item number, item length, if it contains that. Which is it's a hexagonal thing, so it'll go up in if and stuff. Show and hide, and that's pretty much it for that. So my blocks, kind of like broadcast. So what you can do is you can make a block and call it, I guess you could say, move. So let's say whenever it was clicked, it would move. So it would move. So you can, instead of having to move 10 steps every time, you can just move, and it'll do it. So whenever I create clone of myself, I'm going to move. So there we go. Now it'll move every time it's clicked, and now it's lagging. Okay, because there's so many clones. Now clones can make the game lag pretty easily, and I have a 4 GB computer, which I am looking into getting an 8 GB one, so that it won't lag as much, and it can do more. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what move does. That's what the blocks do. And there's another thing with it. and it's called there. You can add inputs, and whenever you do that, you can like it creates a variable, and you can set move. So then you can make it move 10 steps each time. And there is edit. There's Boolean, which okay, and that's basically it as one of these. So this is a Boolean, which is actually the diamond shaped things. And there's this add label where you can add another label, and then run without screen refresh. This is a big one, and this can make your game lag. So this basically makes it run like at the same exact time. So like it does it fast, like it does it without refreshing the screen. It does it all in one frame. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm going to actually show you that you can actually draw stuff here. That you can draw. You can bucket. There's lines. There's text and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm sorry if I'm going fast. I'm running out of time. I need to get this video in as short as possible. So yeah. Now that we have that, we have sounds. So there's the sound editor. I'm going to actually go ahead and you can record sounds and choose sounds. So I'm gonna go and and it's going. I don't know why it's doing that for me, but other people haven't really been having that problem, so I don't think you will. So you can make it faster. You can make it slower. You can make it louder. Ear rape. You can make it softer. You can mute it, which I don't suggest doing. You can make it fade in, fade out. You can reverse it. And then you robot, and you can do that. And there's also a big library of sound. So I'm gonna go in here. Yeah, there's plenty of sounds. So yeah, I think that's it for now. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set the costume. Look out for the next tutorial, and which is going to be the Five Nights at Freddy's tutorial, where I'm going to show you how to make one of those. Remember, this is the only basics tutorial I'm going to be doing, because this channel is going to be made for doing really advanced things, because I have been doing Scratch for a very long time, like I think almost 2 years, and I am a veteran. So as a veteran, I want to pass down my knowledge to you pupils, and I want to keep Scratch going. So yeah, if you enjoyed, then leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.